Hey guys, what's up? Harvester here with a gameplay commentary on the Heavy in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Clearly, I'm playing the Heavy class. This is going to be kind of a tips and tricks video on how to play, primarily co op missions, because that's mostly what I play because I'm trying to grind my Heavy to max. But there will be some tips for multiplayer PvP stuff. So one thing I want to point out right off the bat is stay with your team, especially the officers. As you can see, the officers right to my right, and I'm just kind of hanging out around him. I'm not pushing up too far. Um, and I'm not overexposing myself. I feel like a lot of heavies, they think, oh, I got 50 extra health points. Why don't I just run out and get killed? But if you're dead, you're not doing damage. So don't do that because the heavy, you want to focus on doing as much damage to the enemy team as possible. Another thing I want to talk about real quickly before I get into the rest of the content is just my loadout. I'm using the DC-15LE with the, I think it's reduced recoil or improved cooling. I can't remember what it is. And no other attachments, so no scope or no exploding shots. The exploding shots are good. If you use them correctly, what you can do with the exploding shots is overheat your gun and then click left trigger on the gold bar or right trigger on the gold bar, and then you can just barrage the enemy team with explosive shots. This has to be timed pretty well though, and it overall isn't a super overpowered thing, so I just use the regular DC-15LE with the reduced or the better cooling or reduced recoil. I can't remember which one it is. So as you can see, I'm playing very defensively. Like I'm not taking a forward position. Because even though heavy does have more health points, you are still weaker. And I'm falling back even though my health is still above midway, just because I know that if I push forward, I am probably just going to get melted. Now, right here, I want to point out I got down to 40 health and I used my sentry gun. I am running the overcharged sentry. Actually, back to the loadout really quickly. I'm running the overcharged sentry, barrage, and resourceful, which the barrage is the grenade launcher I just used. The overcharged sentry gives explosive damage to the sentry gun and health regen, which I'll talk about that more in a minute. And then the impact grenade is just the impact grenade. Resourceful allows you to use your abilities more often. So, back to what I was saying. With the health regen on the Supercharged Sentry, it is a very useful perk. In that clip that you saw earlier, what I did is I fell back and I used the Sentry, and I just killed the droid that pushed me, and then pushed out after my health is recharged or regenerated, and killed more droids. The Supercharged Sentry is also great for melting heroes, like I just melted Bosk right there, and later on you'll see I melt Darth Maul with the Supercharged Sentry as well. And I'll talk more about that when that clip comes up. The biggest thing with heavy is positioning yourself. You want to be in like close quarters combat, but not overexposed, which that can be tricky to do sometimes, especially in co-op, because there are hordes of enemies, and sometimes pushing up can expose you to multiple enemies. Right here, I see a lot, or I think it's right here. Yeah, I see a lot of enemies coming, and I throw my impact grenade and switch to the barrage. This is kind of what I call the crowd control loadout. It allows you to deal massive amounts of damage to many people in a short period of time. And the barrage is very effective in co-op for taking out or damaging hordes of enemies. I do want to talk just in general about the heavy. I always suggest staying by someone who's playing officer, because if they're playing officer, likely they're going to be running the officer's presence card, which gives you or it gives their teammates uh, a health regen boost. So if you have it max, it's like 40% sooner, I believe. It's either 40 or 50% sooner, and that can save your life in times. Um, with the supercharged sentry, I know the clip is coming up, so I want to talk about this. Uh, when attacking heroes or defending against a hero who is attacking you, what you want to do is you want to shoot at their feet. The explosive damage will still hurt the hero, but if they're blocking, which the AI in this mode oftentimes do block, um, if they're blocking, it will deflect the lasers still. So you have to be careful, because if you shoot directly at them, it can deflect them back and kill you. Now, one thing I want to say, you can see I'm shooting at his feet here, and I'm still doing damage to him. But one thing I want to say, if you notice, when I saw Darth Maul, I ran back, because you, especially with Darth Maul, you want to get a good, solid amount of distance between you and the hero. Darth Maul specifically, his abilities, he can throw his lightsaber and he can do a spin dash thing. I don't remember what it's called, which can be very deadly and can go very far. And I believe he can do that twice with a certain star card. So that being said, you want to make sure that you are far away from any heroes that are attacking you. And once you start doing damage to them, they should attack. They should be coming after you, so they should just walk straight at you. And that makes it kind of easier to gun them down. When they're running around attacking other people, it can be harder, especially with like General Grievous, when he does his death crawl thing. So now that we've talked about that, I want to talk about staying in cover. So as we're pushing this last or second to last command post, you can see I'm not really like out in the open. I'm staying by the walls. Right now I'm running down the middle, and actually this is a mistake that I made that I actually do want to talk about. So on every map, there is a level of map awareness you need to have. I should not have gone to B, because I didn't know General Grievous was there, but I did know that B is harder to take than A. And A provides much more cover, it provides better lines of sight, and that's why when I saw my team was on A, I spawned on A, because B is just harder to take at this specific point. So that's something you need to learn for the rest of the maps, is just what points are easier to take. For instance, I've had many games where I've played and we've lost because it was on Camino. I was playing as a separatist, and at one point there is, I think it's the third objective that you have to capture. There's a choice between a hangar and like a closed off room that you have to take. And I've had times where my team is just going for the room, and it's just so hard. Once the clones are in there, it's so hard to take it out or clear it out and take it and hold it. But the hangar is much easier. So I've lost games because our team wasn't aware of the map knowledge and like map strategy. So I do want to talk a little bit about cards. This video is not intended to be, use these star cards, because I'm of the opinion that you can use it whatever star cards you like to use. If you want to play this style, you can play that style. I personally do think that the star cards I'm running again, which is Barrage, Resourceful, and Supercharged Sentry, is the best for co-op, but by no means does that mean that it's the only thing you can use, or you're making a mistake if you use something else. I personally think Barrage is a good star card just because I don't find the shield to be that useful. But I have had friends who play heavy that do find the shield to be that useful. So if you like the shield and you don't want to use Barrage, don't use Barrage. Just know that you're decreasing your damage output potential if you do. If you don't use Barrage. So going up here, I do want to point out that if you have been watching closely at this gameplay and watch my abilities, you'll notice that I very rarely have my abilities able to be used, or in other words, when I have my abilities able to be used, I use them right away. As the heavy, I've noticed a lot of new players, they don't use their abilities that frequently, or they don't use them as often. And I think that is a big mistake because the heavy sentry gun is a very powerful tool. The barrage is a very powerful tool. The shield is very useful if you're trying to survive. And I think using your abilities frequently maximizes your damage potential and just increases your overall playability and survivability, not playability. Yeah, so this game, I think I covered pretty much everything I wanted to cover. This game, I went on like a 40 kill streak. I think it was like 42 kill streak, and then like a 10, and then a 26 or something. It wasn't anything special, but I ended up with like 60,000 points almost, just playing as the heavy. If I were playing as the infiltrator or the commando, I probably could have gotten more, because those characters are much stronger and are a lot meatier than just the heavy. But that being said, I did think this was an exceptionally good game to use as an example. And yeah, before we finish, I do want to open it up to the comments section. I want you guys to comment, what are your strategies with heavy? Tell me, what do you think? What do you think about the star cards? Like, do you use other star cards? Do you agree with the star cards I'm using? Let me know what you think. And yeah. Also, one thing I didn't talk about that I will finish this video talking about are the guns for the heavy. A lot of people use the TL50, which is a great gun, don't get me wrong. I'm just a little bit more nostalgic with the DC-15LE. It's like the clone model gun that has attachments, and so I used to play Battlefront 2 all the time, like the original, and so this gun kind of is nostalgic to me. That's mostly why I use it. But the TL50 has, in co-op and against like regular battle droids, not super battle droids or commando droids, it has the ability to kill 3 to 4 people with 1 overheat. The gun I'm using, that has the capability of killing 2 to 3. The T21 has the capability of killing 2 to 3. And the FWMBK or whatever, I'll be honest, I never use that gun. And so I don't know how many people it has the potential to kill. But really, there is no wrong gun. You can use whatever gun you like, whatever gun fits your play style. So yeah, here's the end of the game. I came in second with 58,076 points. So I thought that was a pretty good game, and I'm glad you guys watched till the end.